There are two types of people in this world. The first type are those that go to bed at 2 a.m. after doom scrolling for hours. They then wake up at a random time feeling tired and lazy. For the rest of the day, they chase cheap dopamine and call it a rest day. The only problem is that this is the fourth rest day of the week. These are what I call drifters. A person who floats through life with no direction, no urgency, no discipline. Drifters are always talking, never doing. They avoid structures and routines. They're actually lost, but they don't even realize it. The drivers. These are the type of people that take their lives very seriously. They have an entire protocol for optimizing their sleep. Drivers wake up even before the sun feeling fresh and motivated and get 4 hours of deep focused work in before most people are up from their bed. These are the type of people that demand excellence from themselves in all domains of life. Unlike the drifters, the drivers don't operate based on their immediate emotions. The drivers build systems. The drivers build momentum. The driver finds a way to win at everything he does. Hi, my name is Jibreal Khan and I help people go from being drifters to becoming the drivers of their life. For the past 7 years, I have been studying the art of discipline. Over this time, I have discovered strategies that are not only incredibly effective, but they also make discipline feel easy and enjoyable. In this video, I'm going to share with you a few strategies that are just going to transform you. So let's get right into it. You know, back when I was in high school, I had this self-belief that I was just not good at math. Since then, each time I would mess up in a math exam or mess up a calculation, I would use that as evidence. You see, told you, you are not good at math. Even when I would spend hours learning math, I still just wouldn't absorb anything. Because deep down, I had this belief that math was not meant for me. And no matter how many questions I solved or how much effort I put into it, I still would be horrible at it. And guess what? I was right. My negative beliefs became self-fulfilling prophecies. Because I convinced myself that I suck at math, I began to suck at math even more. This is why when it comes to becoming better as a person in any domain of life, be it getting better academically, improving physically, becoming more disciplined, or becoming a better entrepreneur, the first step is to remove the negative beliefs that you have about yourself. Imagine that there's a rubber band placed between these two fingers. And now think of this particular scenario. Imagine that there is a fat person who's trying to lose weight, and this person has been fat for nearly all his life. Eventually, this person starts going on a diet, he starts working out, he starts tracking his calories, he's putting all this effort in the positive direction. And guess what? He's losing some weight, he's getting some results. But after a week or so, he comes snapping back to his old ways. All of a sudden, he's given up on his diet, he's back to eating that processed garbage food. He has stopped working out completely and he's just laying there in the house. This anchor that brought him back to his original place was his self-belief. Even though he made all these external changes to his life, his self-belief was still the same. He internally thought that he is still a fat loser who eats processed food and does not work out. And when you do things that go against your self-beliefs, then they require a lot of motivation and a lot of extra effort. Just like pulling away from a band. And sure, you can do them for a couple of days when the thing is new and you have a lot of motivation, but eventually you will come snapping back to your original self-beliefs. But on the other hand, if you change your self-belief itself and then do the actions that are in line with this new belief, then those actions begin to seem effortless. In this scenario, if that fat obese man spends some time adopting these new self-beliefs, he would actually have a much easier time doing all the activities that are required to lose weight. And it would be unlikely that he would snap back to his old degenerate ways. Sit down, take a piece of paper and grab a pen, and then ask yourself the following questions. What is holding me back? When did I first start believing this? What voice does this belief sound like? Does it sound like my parent, my teacher, my peers? I want you to take some time and think about these questions, because these are the questions that will help you identify your negative beliefs. And I want you to note all of them down and have them written in front of you, because you can't change what you can't see. A few of the most common negative self-beliefs that I had about myself regarding discipline was that I do not like reading books, I suck at following routines, I'm lazy and careless, I always procrastinate things, I do not enjoy going to the gym. These are the glass ceilings that are holding you back from becoming disciplined and productive. No amount of strategies, tactics, or self-improvement videos will help you unless and until you shatter these glass ceilings. The next step is to attack all these negative core beliefs that you have about yourself. You have acquired these beliefs more than likely due to some past negative experiences. And these experiences could be as old as your childhood. You have told yourself or someone close to you has told you the following story about these past negative experiences, that the reason why you're bad at math is because you're stupid. The reason why you can't stop playing video games is just because you're a lazy loser. The reason why you're fat is because of your genetics and there's not much you can do about it. Your dad has been fat, your granddad has been fat, just give up already. You need to rewrite this story. The reason why you're not good at math is not because there's something innately that is wrong with you. It's more to do with the fact that you probably never had a mentor to teach you math the right way that was enjoyable and exciting and captured your attention. You probably never even had a study schedule that would systematically prepare you for that math exam. Maybe both your parents were busy working and they couldn't give you the time and attention required. The reason why you can't stop playing video games is not because you're a good for nothing loser. Maybe it's because you got hooked to video games at a very young age and it has now just become a coping mechanism and you just don't know the right way to quit these destructive habits. The reason why you don't like reading books is not because books hate you or you hate books. It's probably because there was never an environment of readers around you. You never had a schedule or a routine that would allow you to consistently read, learn, and enjoy the act of reading. Probably neither of your parents told you just how important it is to read a book, so you now just view it as some mundane activity that only nerds do. Every single failure that you've had, you need to take away healthy, positive lessons from it, rather than let that failure permanently bring down your self-image. Because that is exactly what I used to do. Back in high school when I used to play football, and each time I did not perform too well in the game, I would think that, oh my god, I'm such a loser, I'll never be a good player, I'm unworthy, I'm undeserving, no one should love me. And guess what? The next game I would play even worse. So rather than taking lessons from that football game that, hey, maybe my first touch needs to improve, or hey, maybe I need to shoot the ball better, I would instead disregard all that information and just adopt the self-image that, yeah, I'm a loser, nothing can be done about it. If you have any sort of discipline related issue, that maybe you're inconsistent, maybe you procrastinate, or maybe you even have a few bad habits, then the first thing that I want you to do is stop the negative self-talk. Because it is only when you stop the negative self-talk, that is when you will actually go out in the world and be open to solutions to the real problems. Most people tend to think of discipline as if it's like a fixed trait, like being tall. Either you have it or you don't, but that is not accurate. The ability to be disciplined, to be consistent, to have strong impulse control, all these traits can be developed just like you would develop a muscle. A lot of the videos that I make on this channel are just that. They are tools to develop your discipline. So I'm going to go over some of these tools that I think are highly effective in building that baseline level of discipline. Start doing things that you kind of don't want to do, things that make you uncomfortable, things that you know are good for you but you're still avoiding them. But wait, there is an important addition to this advice. Do those hard things at the same time every single day. You could be someone who has tried working out, tried reading, or tried studying for exams, but you just couldn't find any consistency in that behavior. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to find 3 time slots in your day, and in those 3 time slots you are going to do something that you really find hard to do. For example, in time slot 1, you are going to read a book. In time slot 2, you are going to do an indoor 20-minute workout. In time slot 3, you are probably going to watch a podcast on diet, nutrition, health. Think of these 3 time slots as your daily dose of medicine that is required to build discipline. Embrace the suck during these time slots. I promise you that this is only going to be hard for the first 2 to 3 weeks. But after that, something pretty interesting is going to happen. You are going to start enjoying the suck. You're actually going to look forward to that hard thing in some weird way. Most people are actually living their lives without these moments of hardship. They are actually going from one fun activity to the next, and then to the next, and then to the next. And you might think that, oh yeah, by the end of the day, they should be pretty happy because all they're pursuing is happiness. Wrong. The truth is you are going to feel like shit. Your body doesn't want to be just bombarded by instant pleasure all the time. It was actually designed to do hard things. And when it does not get its daily dose of hard work, then it really withers and starts feeling low. So sit down, make a promise to yourself that at least 3 times a day, I am going to do something that is hard and challenging. And here's a bit of a pro tip. Keep that first slot of hardship very close to the time that you wake up, because this hardship will have a psychological impact on you. It will make the rest of the day feel easier. One mistake that I see people do once they start doing hard things is that they begin by trying to copy the masters. For example, a guy who's not used to running now tries to run every single day. And one day he comes across this video of David Goggins running 10 miles at 4 a.m. He's pretty inspired by that video because, let's be honest, it's pretty badass to do that. So the next day he wakes up at 4 a.m. and he actually manages to hit that run. He's tired, he's exhausted, but you know what? He's incredibly happy. He's so proud of himself. He has a big celebration. He posts Instagram stories to show his progress. But sometimes later on in the day, as this happiness hormones just come back to normal, he comes to this realization that he needs to run those 10 miles again tomorrow morning, but this time without the factor of novelty. Running those 10 miles is not going to be an achievement tomorrow, but rather an expectation. Guess what is going to happen tomorrow morning? He is going to skip that run. In fact, he's going to be so anxious about that run that he's probably not going to be able to sleep well. This is what happens to most people who are new to the world of doing hard things. They try to emulate the masters of the game too soon, but the truth is that as a newbie to any habit, you need to first get consistent at hitting unimpressive numbers before you can start chasing those exceptional numbers. One of the hard things that I have as part of my life is doing deep, focused, cognitively demanding work for like a solid 4 to 5 hours. And I know this sounds pretty impressive, right? Being able to just focus on a thing for 4 to 5 hours, especially in today's times when everyone around you has like a 7-second TikTok brain attention span. But when I first started my journey, my target was to only do 20 minutes of focused work, and this wasn't some very impressive number. It's only after weeks of consistency did I progressively start increasing the intensity. No one is going to cheer for you for reading just 5 pages of a book each day, but believe me, if you consistently do these things for the next 2 years and slowly start increasing the intensity along the way, that is when people are going to notice and the recognition is going to come. But until then, prepare for a lonely journey. The only one that is going to be witnessing your efforts is going to be you, and you need to find some sort of comfort in that fact. You have fixed your beliefs, but now it's time to turn discipline into your default setting. So make sure that you watch this video to learn how to do just that.